Coming up on AgWeek TV, the EPA is looking into revamping renewable fuel standards, but does it go far enough for farmers? A panel of experts gather for a dirt workshop aimed at improving the soil for better crops. We'll see why livestock production is expanding in one South Dakota county. And we'll see how one rural town is thriving thanks to a group of dedicated volunteers. Welcome to AgWeek TV. I'm Emily Beal. The EPA wants to revamp the decade-old renewable fuel standard, but does it go far enough to help farmers? Under the new RFS 3-year proposal, oil refiners will be required to add nearly 21 billion gallons of biofuel to their fuel in 2023, nearly 22 billion gallons in 2024, and 22.68 billion gallons in 2025. The executive director of the North Dakota Corn Growers Association hopes to see those numbers rise.
The EPA's proposed renewable fuel volume has some modest increases in it over the next few years, so we're optimistic about that. We, of course, at the national level will be submitting comments to try to make that even greater in the coming years, so that we can have those higher standards for our farmers.
The new volumes of fuel will include more than 15 billion gallons per year of conventional biofuels, like corn-based ethanol. Along with boosting biofuel volumes, the EPA also hopes to introduce a way for electric vehicle makers to generate credits. The Minn-Dak Farmers Cooperative announced it's going to need more sugar beets in the coming years. The co-op observed its 50th year during its recent annual meeting in Fargo. And after a 5-year upgrade to its sugar beet processing plant, CEO Kirk Wickstrom says his organization will need another 10 to 15,000 acres of beets over the next few years. He says the grower owners should be able to make that happen within the co-op's existing southern Red River Valley footprint. In 2022, Minn-Dak had a subpar yield of 22.4 tons per acre, but its 19.1% sugar content was the second highest ever. The result is a preliminary payout estimate of $54 per ton. The company says it still plans on more capacity, even with the recent 5-year upgrade. A South Dakota farmer is advocating for more animal agriculture in the state. Wally Knock is chairman of the Clark County Commission, which plays a big role in the resurgence of livestock in the county. Knock says the uptick is due in large part to contract feeding of pigs and large dairies. Although some people don't like outside ownership, he said not enough local producers are willing or able to take on the risk of owning both the buildings and the animals. Big dairies being built today are a $50 to $60 million investment with 10,000 cows. That's a huge bump to the local tax base.
So the next best thing to having local people on it is just to have anyone who wants to come in. So at least we get the expansion in numbers, and we get the numbers which are the main driver for the economy.
Recently, the commission has permitted 7 facilities with capacity for 2,400 head of hogs. In the past 5 years, Clark County has passed permits for 3 5,000 head farrowing facilities and 3 large dairy enterprises totaling 25,000 cows. Improving the soil was the focus of the DIRT workshop in Fargo this week. DIRT stands for Dakota Innovation, Research, and Technology. The 3-day workshop, led by NDSU Extension Soil Health Specialist AGWEEK, is designed to share the latest information with farmers, educators, researchers, companies, and anyone interested in soil health. It's designed to tailor information and applications for participants.
The idea for the DIRT workshop came from the fact that the farmers were telling me, listen, Abby, we believe you. We know soil health is important. We just don't know how to implement it on our farm or how to fine-tune the practices we're already using. And that's where these certified crop advisors come in. They've got the logistics, they have the expertise. They can help those farmers adopt those practices on their farms.
In her 10 years of sharing the message of soil health across the state, Wick says she's seen a definite increase in use of simple cover crop mixes to manage moisture and reduce erosion, and also farmers being more willing to reduce tillage passes. Joining me now are 2 of the main speakers at the DIRT workshop, certified crop advisors, Jason Hansen and Lee Breeze. So Jason, let's start off with you. What are some of the main concerns producers are coming to you with when it comes to their soil's health?
I think one of the bigger things that guys that I work with are wondering about is, what extra things do I have to do? Is it going to get me out of my comfort zone? And people generally don't like to do that. But there are probably some things that we need to look at to do.
And so, in your experience, how has soil health changed in the past 5 to 10 years, would you say?
In my area, probably the biggest thing is there's definitely becoming less tillage, which absolutely needs to happen. People are finding out that it doesn't have to be black, and they're managing around that. I have a couple guys that do no-till. I have more guys that are probably going more to minimum till. I cannot have as much soil erosion as we've experienced during certain times in the last 5 years.
What are some things that producers can do to kind of stop that erosion of the soil?
So if you got a crop that it's easy to seed into the next year, you don't have to work that ground. If you're going to do some work, be it fairly shallow or go from a 4-inch to a 2-inch spike, or you're going to probably have to look at using some type of crop to keep cover on it. So we have a lot of canola and wheat and barley in our area. Those are all good options.
Thanks, Jason. Now, Lee, moving on to you. So in your area of the state, what are some of the practices that are ideal?
So we're actually targeting some of the troublesome acres. So like saline acres are really challenging for us and where I'm at in the central part of the state. So we're using cover crops and reduced tillage in those spots and specifically staying away from corn and soybeans because they're not doing well there.
So if you're talking to a producer that's really trying to do better with their soil, what's some advice you would give them?
The first thing is to really understand what the challenges that they're facing are and where they're at, what their constraints are, what are their logistics, what's their equipment, and then we can work within those frameworks without having to get them to really expensive implements or inputs and that type of thing to get them closer where they want to be.
So why is it important for you to be a certified crop advisor and kind of help other certified crop advisors?
So the important part of it is that we're not really direct competition. We're both helping and going out there to help growers do better. And when Jason does better and shares that with me, I do better and vice versa. So it's really powerful for us to have a network.
Just kind of be that point person for the people that I consult with. So for me, it's a personal thing, but there's also an advantage between the network, the education. Those are two big things. That's what you need to stay ahead in this game.
Thank you so much for your insight, Jason Hansen and Lee Breeze. Coming up on AgWeek TV, we'll see how volunteers keep one small town thriving and growing.
As we approach the end of the 2022 crop year, it's time to assess which decisions were good and which ones were not. Producers will go through cropping practices and evaluate their performance and make their adjustments the following year. Do you do the same with your risk management strategy? Did your crop insurance levels give you the coverage and protection you needed for the year? Were you able to respond to the market opportunities when they became available? If your risk management approach needs a little attention, the professionals at Martinson Ag can help you. We give you straightforward analysis that helps you make the best decisions for your operation.
I'm Peter Bosch. I've been working with Gateway Building Systems for a little over 20 years now. I chose Gateway Building Systems to build my shop because I wanted a building that could both be used for my equipment and as a place for my family to hang out and do things. I would advise anybody that's thinking about working with Gateway to go in and talk to the guys there, tell them your plans and your future dreams, and let them design something for you.
If you need storage at your location, call Mike at Storage Pros today. We sell and rent 20, 40, and 45-foot new and used shipping containers. Choose from our huge inventory of in-stock shipping containers at one of our 3 locations. All of our units are wind and watertight and mouse-proof. We deliver with roll-off trailers to your site. We'll have your container to you and ready to use in 2 to 3 days. Call Mike at Storage Pros today, 701-360-1411.
Every season has an end. After spending your whole life building something, it can be hard to move on to your next stage in life. But when that time comes, you deserve to have someone you trust guide you through the process. And by trusting us to pass on your legacy, it gives someone else the chance to create their own. Every auction has a story. Let us share yours.
There's no easy button, no guarantees, or promises of a good year. This is farming. It's unpredictable and demanding, with long days and sometimes stressful nights. It's weathering the storms and coming out successful. Farming isn't for everyone. We thank those who make it their life, because it is for everyone.
Tractors made at Fargo's Case IH plant are heading to Antarctica. As Kevin Wallivan explains, the tractors have to be specially modified to run in the punishing conditions.
For 20 years, Case has won contracts to build and modify its quad tracks for the scientists and teams that need them to conduct research and more in Antarctica.
They're definitely critical. The tractors will be used for a number of different operations. The primary usage will be runway maintenance. They will also be used for transporting these large sleds, as you mentioned, pulling things such as fuel bladders, supplies, general equipment from site to site.
And it's not just tracks that need to get modified for Antarctica, but things like hydraulics and hoses.
It underwent all these changes here in the Fargo area. There's actually some additional retrofitting that's being done at a dealership in Tasmania, south of Australia, prior to them being sent to port.
While the tractors are usually shipped by sea, a military C-17 has been used in the past to transport a Case tractor, all 65,000 pounds of it. And for the plant workers here in Fargo, a lot of pride in what has rolled off their line. Headed to a deep freeze to be a workhorse in Antarctica.
There was a lot of hard work and dedication put in by numerous groups within the Case IH organization across the globe, and to see everyone come together as one team to meet the needs of this specialty customer was really rewarding.
The Case IH tractors will begin working in January. After the modifications, each tractor costs just over $1 million. Many small towns struggle to keep people and businesses, but we visited one that's thriving. In this week's AgWeek cover story, we'll see how Gilby, North Dakota is doing it.
Santa comes every year, I give him a call, and here he is. He just shows up. I have his number.
Santa Claus paid a visit to Gilby, North Dakota recently. This Christmas party is just one of many activities at the new community center. The small town in northeast North Dakota is being revitalized thanks to a group of enthusiastic volunteers and donors.
The town has been incredibly supportive. It's all volunteer run.
Kayla Elke serves on the Gilby City Council, and she's a busy volunteer in the town's many activities. Although the town's population is only about 240 people, in the past few years they've taken on several projects.
Whether it's new park equipment, renovating the old grocery store building into a community center and coffee shop. I think creating a gathering space is very important for any community.
Jolyn Dixon serves on the city council with her daughter Kayla. She says these projects really attract young families, and she's proud that it earned Gilby a North Dakota Main Street Award.
As a group, we always come together, like we meet monthly with our volunteers, and we're just like, okay, what are some ideas? And we're always just trying different things.
This whole project here has been wonderful. I mean, it's brought the community, I think, more together, and it's been a good thing for Gilby.
Rob McLean has been the mayor of Gilby for 13 years, and he's lived here all his life. So he's thrilled with the progress the community is making.
We got a good community, and I like to see things progress, and I think we're going in the right direction. And it just, being from Gilby my whole life, it just makes me proud to see all this stuff going on now. So
there's times I just think, I think I might have a little tear in my eye because it just makes me so happy,
You can read more in the next AgWeek magazine or at agweek.com. Ahead on our show, we'll see how restoring wetlands can pay off.
Dynaflow is the ultimate high-volume water management pump. Whether you're experiencing flooding, emptying sloughs, transferring ponds, or working on irrigation, the Dynaflow pump works in as little as 18 inches of water and is designed to move 3,000 gallons per minute. The Dynaflow lift pump is the perfect upgrade to your drain tile system. Using line shaft turbine pump technology, these pumps are made to last while operating efficiently. Dynaflow drain tile pumps can move up to 1,500 gallons per minute, up to 3,400 feet away.
Farming the land carries a lot of responsibilities. You plan and forecast the acres. You plant the crops. You spray the crops. You pray over the crops for good weather and moisture. And you harvest the crops that are long awaited. Erickson Custom Operations would like to wish you a Merry Christmas and a blessed New Year.
Infrastructure is at the foundation of everything we do. It lets us go farther, play harder, and live better. That's why for over 60 years, our team of experienced civil engineers has worked with our private and public partners to design, construct, and maintain our community's infrastructure. When it matters most, you need more. More engineering, improving lives by building strong communities.
All right, here's the free gift I got for opening up a checking account. Let's see what I got.
Okay guys, so I got this portable DVD player.
Yeah, I'm not sure why my bank would give me a tiny waffle maker.
So it's a tumbler, but it doesn't fit in any of my cup holders.
I wasn't even sure they still made these.
Is it for kids? Is this for kids?
Don't fall for the free gift. Find a bank that cares about what you really need. Cornerstone Bank.
The team at North Star Ag is committed to quality and committed to you. We're not just a full-service dealer, we're farmers too, so we know you need the best machinery and services that'll keep you going all season long. We have the largest equipment inventory in the upper Midwest with a well-equipped parts and service department. So whether you need machinery tomorrow or parts today, stop in and experience what North Star Ag can offer on our website at northstar-ag.com or give us a call at 701-361-4790.
Is the snow finally here to stay? Here's John with our AgriWeather Outlook.
In the wake of last week's big Northern Plains snowstorm, we are seeing some really frigid air building into the Northern Plains. Of course, last week's snow had a great deal of water in it. So for the first time really this winter season, many parts of North Dakota, South Dakota, and Minnesota, even some surrounding areas of southern Canada are dealing with water content out of a snow that was around an inch or more. And so that doesn't really alleviate fall dry conditions, but it does change the kind of attitude a little bit. We're starting to get actually precipitation that means something. But now that the weather has gotten very cold, while there will be some snow that will be accumulating the next couple of weeks, it looks like these will mostly be of that lighter water content. Jet stream right now, of course, the frigid weather beginning to get ready to dump into the Northern Plains. By frigid, I mean high temperatures near and below zero, and that's what we're looking at around here, probably for the rest of December, most of the rest of December in southern Canada and extreme northern parts of the U.S. It will stay below freezing throughout the Great Lakes, Iowa, much of the Midwest, and it's actually getting pretty cool down south. You go to South Florida, you can still find some warm weather. Southern California is actually not all that hot. There are some comfortable temperatures, surely, but as this primary jet stream dives really far south late in the week, there's going to be some pretty chilly weather getting down into at least the northern part of Florida, and that's actually going to push the warmest air off the end of the peninsula. So get to be around Christmas Eve, and they might not even be doing a lot of water skiing in Key West. It'll be a little cooler. Frigid weather into the Northern Plains this weekend as well. I do expect as we go into next week with the jet stream just meandering a bit that the iciness of this frigid air will lose some of its punch, especially toward the end of the year. But it's going to stay really a very cold pattern, I expect. Northern Plains, Great Lakes, and some sub-freezing air getting down into the deep south for the Christmas, New Year time of year. So pretty cold weather pattern. The big snows this week will be right here through the Middle West, and another wave of cold weather as that settles in. That'll, of course, change over to a mix, and then finally showers and thunder showers down along the deep south. Pacific Northwest stands to get some moisture. Most of this in the Northern Plains. There may be a couple of weather systems this week, but I think the rain amount or the snow amounts will be not as substantial, and the water content very much not substantial. Next week, same thing. This will likely be mostly dry snow, a little bit of rain in the south and the far Pacific Northwest. Actually, the last week of the year is looking, except for this kind of little clipper storm track right in through here, like a fairly quiet week across the country. And except for maybe downstream of the Great Lakes, this particular arc of snow not likely to yield any significant precipitation amounts, just snow and blowing snow.
Small or large, Superior Grain Equipment has a storage solution for you with a wide variety of bin options and accessories, along with site planning and superior customer service. Plus, from top to bottom, we offer the industry's best bins and warranties to protect your products and your grain storage investment. Get superior quality, protection, and reliability with generations of experience and dependability. Make the superior choice today with Superior Grain Equipment.
the passion to make this season better than the last. Since the beginning, it's been our goal too, from our pipeline of groundbreaking traits to new technologies. Ours is a story of innovation and a proven track record that's pushed performance and the industry farther than many thought was possible. But there's still work to be done and yields to chase. Because as you know all too well, success doesn't come to those who wait.
Don't miss out on the equipment you'll need next season. Titan Machinery, your local Case IH dealer, has early order discounts on its full line of powerful, efficient, new Case IH equipment, including tractors, combines, and self-propelled sprayers. Get a great deal and ensure that you have the latest in productivity and technology. Supply chains are tight. Contact your Titan Machinery dealership today and find out how much you can save by ordering ahead. Titan Machinery, your local Case IH equipment experts.
Grain Handling Direct presents how to purchase grain storage solutions in your bathrobe. First, go to grainhandlingdirect.com, browse our products, check prices, and add your selection to a cart. You can place your order online or call our customer service reps with any questions. We'll route your order to the manufacturer and ship it directly to your front door. grainhandlingdirect.com, direct and simple to save you money.
For AgWeek, this is Mikkel Pates at Watertown, South Dakota.
We'll look at the positive impacts that dairy can have on the community.
A Minnesota couple has put a grain bin to a new use. Spoiler alert, it's not grain.
This elaborate system of tubing with the downhill slope is how Maplewood State Park gathers sap to make syrup.
Thanks for watching AgWeek TV. Remember, for all your ag news, go to agweek.com and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. If someone wants to drain wetlands for other uses, like a housing development, road construction, or farming, they have to replace those wetlands. One way is through wetland mitigation and wetland banking. Rose Dunn introduces you to an expert in wetland projects.
I've been working with wetlands for over 20 years.
Greg Meyer is an environmental scientist with Moore Engineering in West Fargo. He specializes in wetlands projects, which include developing wetland mitigation banks.
I really enjoy being out in nature, spending my time out here, meeting different clients. Especially, I really enjoy the agricultural side and meeting the different agricultural producers and working with them.
Wetland banking is a state and federal program that allows a landowner to sell credits to whoever is impacting other wetlands, like developers or other farmers. First, a landowner must restore some of their own land to its native state. Then they can generate the wetland mitigation credits. Moore has experienced scientists, surveyors, and engineers who work with landowners to build these projects start to finish.
We understand the regulatory agencies, the regulatory rules, the permitting process, any kind of mitigation process.
This farmer had 5 acres of unproductive farmland, so he wanted to develop it into wetlands. That gave the landowner 5 acres of wetland credits. In this case, Meyer restored previously drained wetlands and created additional small individual wetlands.
We planted native grasses around them, and we were able to create this wildlife habitat sanctuary. And all those provide habitat for game birds and deer, even when they're dry.
Now it's healthy wetlands and grasslands and a thriving habitat for wildlife. Meyer says he loves seeing the landowner happy with the finished project.
The smile on their face when they drive out and they see a rooster fly out or ducks in the spring. You know, it's very gratifying and satisfying to me. This is by far the most satisfying part of my job.
Near Valley City, North Dakota, this is Rose Dunn for AgWeek.
For more information on wetland mitigation or wetland mitigation banking, contact Moore Engineering. Still ahead, we have the secret to growing the perfect Christmas tree.
Spray Advantage is a full-line, full-service dealer with everything you need for fertilizer and chemical applications, like electronics from Microtrack and Raven, pumps by Banjo and John Blue, a full line of poly parts, tanks, and spray tips. We support the equipment we sell with factory-trained service technicians and a well-stocked parts department. It's our commitment to offer you quality products at competitive prices with the best financing options available. Spray Advantage, proudly serving North Dakota and Minnesota.
I'm Peter Bosch. I've been working with Gateway Building Systems for a little over 20 years now. I chose Gateway Building Systems to build my shop because I wanted a building that could both be used for my equipment and as a place for my family to hang out and do things. I would advise anybody that's thinking about working with Gateway to go in and talk to the guys there, tell them your plans and your future dreams, and let them design something for you.
Farming the land carries a lot of responsibilities. You plan and forecast the acres. You plant the crops. You spray the crops. You pray over the crops for good weather and moisture. And you harvest the crops that are long awaited. Erickson Custom Operations would like to wish you a Merry Christmas and a blessed New Year.
Why I ultimately choose them is they handled everything from the site prep, the dirt work, the gravel. The electricians were all excellent, and they're very knowledgeable in the dryer setups themselves. They made sure that they designed me a system that was expandable years into the future. It was a long-term encompassing project, and that's what I appreciate about their knowledge. I'm Ethan Hansen from Blanchard, North Dakota, and I would definitely recommend Advanced Grain for all your grain storage handling needs.
Go beyond the headlines with an AgWEEK membership. Get in-depth agribusiness reporting, original farm and ranch stories, and fact-based research for the most comprehensive ag news in the upper Midwest. Experienced ag journalists bring you exclusive ag news, insights, and policy updates you won't find anywhere else. Become a member today and get unlimited access to AgWEEK and AgweekTV.
If you buy a real Christmas tree, you may have noticed they're harder to come by this year, and they're more expensive. That's because, like most crops, inputs were higher this year. The Dose family runs Choose and Cut Fraser Fir Farm near Rochester, Minnesota. Michael and Sandy Dose started planting trees in 1984 and selling them in 1991. Their sons Michael and Danny joined them in the business. They think Fraser firs are the perfect Christmas tree. They have 22,000 trees growing. The Doses say their soil seems to be good for growing Fraser firs, so that's the only tree they grow now.
I would say like soil conditions, just regulating like what your soils are and trying to make sure you get that good color, because soil conditions have a lot to do with like the green and how trees like grow over the course of the summer. Yeah. So yeah, that's probably the biggest challenge. Yeah.
They also supplement their crop by buying trees from a farm in Wisconsin. While many growers are reporting tree shortages, the Doses say it's been a great growing year and they have plenty of trees.
We plant a tree for every tree we take out, and now we're overplanting. We're planting more trees than we're taking out to build it for future years, to sell more.
They also sell a variety of other holiday items, including wreaths and garland. We appreciate you watching AgWeek TV. Remember to check us out daily on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok to keep up on all your ag news. Have a great week.